seminar on foundational values. This is the 5th seminar on the GLIFE series. And you should really ask me, why am I talking about the values? What's the value of the values? We are living on the fundamental principle of interdependence. And I'll explain that in a moment. And also, our very survival depends on the values. We are dependent on each other. The pedestrian who is crossing the road is dependent on the one who is driving his or her vehicle. There are just about infinite number of situations where you will see in your daily life there's a tremendous sense of interdependence. And so our whole survival depends on the values, because it's the values that will drive us to take care of each other. But what if you're not safe on the road? But what if you're not taken care of in the hospital? But what if you're in a difficulty and your friends do not come to you? And that's what I mean by values. And of course in GLIFE we call it foundational values, because the values are numerous, okay? But just the GLIFE philosophy is that we only pin down a few core things that one should do that are very simple. They do not cost you anything, but have a tremendous value and tremendous impact on the well-being of everyone. Okay, so let's come back to the foundational values. There are 3 things that we consider very important when it comes to the GLIFE foundational values. 1 is that there should be a very good behavior by everyone. That is, everyone should have a good moral behavior. And the second thing is, everybody should be a responsible citizen. So a good citizenship is very important. And the third is that we must engage in social service as much as we can afford, with our time, with our other commitments, with our resources, but we must engage in social service. Our success is not complete without us having these core values. And the GLIFE concept actually is based on creating a holistic development of each individual and through each individual of the society. These 3 foundational values are extremely important. So I'm going to go to the first one, and that is the moral behavior or the good behavior. Each one of us would like that we be treated very well. We should be treated by everyone with respect, consideration, compassion, all of that. And so, if you want to be treated like that, you have to treat everybody else the same way. And that is, be respectful, be fair, be compassionate, and be considerate. And if we do these 4 things, we would be looked upon as an individual who is caring and sharing, and that others would treat us the same way. So the moral behavior or the good behavior is extremely important. The citizenship, the responsible citizenship, is extremely important. That there are people who would not observe the discipline when they are on the road, and when they are driving, or when they are crossing the road, and if there is an old lady going, or a little child crossing, or any of those things. So it's very important that we have a sense of citizenship which means caring for everyone around us, caring for all other citizens, okay? And so within that, it is also extremely important to maintain your own health and hygiene, the health and hygiene around you, whether it is the place of study, school, or whether it is a playground, whether it is a place where you work, or it is a hospital, everywhere we should observe the sense of or the responsibility for health and hygiene. As a good citizen, we should have certain discipline, which means that if we are in a public place and we're standing in a line, or some will call it queue, you must take your turn. And you must not overtake somebody else, thinking that you are in a great hurry and others are not. This does happen in many places, and that's not good. So you should have discipline. This is just one example, standing in the line. But there are a number of places where we must honor and respect the rights of other citizens and provide that sense of discipline, okay? And the last but not the least is you must love your country. Why should you love your country? You should love your country because everything that you have or everything that you will have sooner or later comes from within the country. Because there are people who are producing steel, there are people who are producing furniture, there are people who are cleaning the streets, there are people who are treating the sick and the ill, and there are people who are caring for the old, and there are people who are caring for the poor, and all of this happens within that country, from the people of that country, so we benefit from that. It is the grain that comes from the land of the country. It is the air that is provided by the country. It is the water that is provided by that country. You must love your country and must make sure that your country is secured and that safe, and that every citizen at any time of the day or the night can walk the streets safely. And this is what I mean by the good citizenship. Okay, now the last one that I would like to talk about is social service. You should ask me, why am I saying social service? Before I explain to you the social service, because I know almost all of you, each one of you, is participating in some social service or the other. For that I congratulate you. But let me explain to you why social service is so important. You may have thought of it and you may not. It is important because, number one, when you provide social service or you help someone who is needy, who needs your help, okay, the help is not always money. It can be that you can give a hand to someone who is walking, having difficulty. Or you can tutor someone who has difficulty with mathematics or physics or science. Or any number of things. You can go to the hospital and help the people who are sick there and they need some help, some guidance. Any number of ways you can do the social service. But when you do that social service, you know what happens? You have a sense of satisfaction. You have a sense of confidence that you can help somebody. And you can see the smile on the face of the person who receives your help. And you never know when you will need the help, because everybody goes through the ups and downs in life, and today you are able to help someone, tomorrow you may need somebody's help. Someone feels that he or she is helpless, or any number of things, okay? So you learn to understand their situation. You learn to relate yourself with that situation, with that person. And slowly, when you do this multiple times, when you do this every other day or every other week, and you do this often, what happens? You learn, you understand people. You understand people, their emotions, their needs. And that's what public relations is. Now, you may think of the public relations in marketing or in business or in some NGO or in fundraising, but this is where it begins. This is an excellent training ground for you to learn the tricks of public relations. And the third is, definitely, there's a tremendous sense of responsibility. You feel that you've been responsible. You feel proud of yourself. So this is why we should engage in social service. One, it makes you feel confident. Two, you build the skills of public relations. And three, you feel good. You feel proud of yourself. You feel a sense of responsibility. In any event, talking about this, I think, reconfirms our mutual understanding of the foundational values and the three major or three core principles of the foundational values. You know, when you take a look at all this, when you think about it, this is what makes the difference when you apply all that you have in trying to achieve what you want to achieve. These are the qualities that will help you. And in absence of these qualities, all other forces may run short. And that's why in GLIFE, we pay a lot of attention to foundational values. We consider this as one of the core principles of GLIFE. And I hope that you would agree with me and that you would take a note of it through this seminar and then subsequently through the slides and the group discussions and all that. Good luck to you. Welcome again. I'm going to talk about the concluding comments on this seminar on the foundational values. I'm sure you got quite a bit of information through my video and then subsequent slides and your group discussions. Everything that you would earn as a result of all that GLIFE and your formal education provides you, if you want to retain all that success and that wealth and retain all that name and fame, then there is one thing that would become extremely important, and that is the values. When you acquire these values, you make other people feel safe, secure, and care. And the same way, when you need all of that, you receive that from the society, individuals, and from this great nation. And that's why in GLIFE concept, foundational values are extremely important. And they're very simple. They're very simple. Because in GLIFE, we don't try to make things too difficult for anyone to acquire. These are three simple things. They cost nothing. You can understand them very easily, and it's just a matter of you practicing them and receiving the benefits. Okay? So, good behavior, caring for people, being respectful, being kind, compassionate, considerate, all of that would constitute one's good behavior. Similarly, we have to be good citizens. Good citizenship is a great gift given to the society, given to this nation, because the nation depends on the good citizenship of all of us. each one of us. So we are the givers and we are the beneficiaries. Social service is extremely important. Everybody has something to give. It may be money, it may be knowledge, it may be help, it may be labor, it may be guidance, it may be simply sitting with someone and listening to his or her pain or his or her story n number of ways, and you can be helpful to other people. And when you do that, you have a tremendous sense of responsibility, tremendous satisfaction that you did something that you can be proud of yourself. In the society, in the long run, you will be determined not just by how many degrees you have, or how big the house you have, or which car you drive, or how much money you have in the bank. People generally don't care that much for these things. They care for who you are, how you are, and how you come across people. So with that note, my friend, take care of all these foundational values, acquire them as much as you can. All the best to you, and see you in the next seminar.